We need 3 distinct marketing campaigns in order to build a great webinar marketing funnel. In this video, I'll introduce those 3 campaigns and break down the unique goals and objectives for each one. By the end of this video, we'll have the basic framework for a solid webinar marketing funnel. My name is Jay Shear. I'm a fractional CMO with over 2 decades of marketing experience, and I've promoted a lot of webinars in my time. Today, I'll showcase the 3 campaigns we need to maximize our webinar marketing funnels. Let's take a look at campaign number 1. The first objective of any webinar marketing funnel is to convert our target market into registrants. That should be pretty obvious. We want people to show up to our webinar. This campaign's effectiveness will depend on numerous factors: the size of our database, how many webinars we've done in the past, our promotional tactics and our plan, our webinar topic, etc., etc., etc. The results of campaign number 1 can vary widely. Now, given that disclaimer, I would aim for a 0.5% to 5% conversion rate, meaning that at the end of campaign number 1, 0.5% to 5% of the contacts our campaign touched should register for the webinar. That does assume that we'll be doing more than just advertising. Ads will likely have a far lower conversion rate, but that's another video entirely. Essentially, campaign number 1 is supposed to get people to register for the webinar. The second campaign of an effective webinar marketing funnel, campaign number 2, should focus on getting everyone who registered to actually attend. Just getting webinar registrations isn't enough. Our target markets consist of busy people who are bombarded by messages and shifting priorities all day long. Just because they register does not mean that they'll show up. Campaign number 2 in our webinar marketing funnel should remind and encourage registrants to attend the webinar. The goal of campaign number 2 is to increase the conversion rate of registrants to attendees. Here, I would say that our goal is to get at least 70% or more of registrants to attend the live webinar. Now, some will register just to be able to watch the webinar recording sometime later, but it's always better to have them there live. In my experience, campaign number 2 is often the most overlooked element of a webinar marketing funnel. If our ratio of registrants to attendees consistently falls below 60%, it means that we need to improve our communication to webinar registrants and make sure that they attend live. That's why campaign 2 makes such a big difference. Before I get to campaign number 3, if this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button for me. And if you have a question about a webinar marketing funnel that you are building, leave a comment down below. In the description down below, you'll find more information about my complete guide to webinar marketing success. If you want to up your webinar marketing funnel game, be sure to check that out. All right, why would we host a webinar? Numerous answers to this question exist, but the most common reason for hosting a webinar is to help our target market improve their decision-making. And that usually means the webinar exists to help our target market understand how our company can help them accomplish an objective that they have. Don't worry, I'll explain that concept thoroughly in an upcoming video. For now, let's put it simply, webinars help our target audience make better decisions, and they also generate leads because hopefully if we're helping our target audience make better decisions, they'll keep talking to us about how to make those good decisions and hopefully lead them to our product or service. Now, many of us already know this important truth. Generating inbound leads is not easy. We don't want to go to all the trouble of hosting a webinar only to fail to generate leads because we neglected to run a post-webinar campaign that encourages registrants and attendees to take the next step. Campaign number 3 in our webinar marketing funnel promotes that next step to registrants and attendees. It prompts registrants and attendees to book a meeting with our sales team, sign up for a free consultation, download an additional resource, or do some other important activity that will help them make a better purchase decision, which in turn means choosing to purchase from our organization, at least we would hope. Campaign number 3 is essential to ensuring that the webinar we're hosting is part of a bigger marketing funnel that generates leads. What's the average conversion rate of registrants and or attendees to marketing or sales qualified leads? That number varies widely depending on how compelling your follow-up offer is and on what we might consider a marketing qualified lead versus a sales qualified lead. But generally speaking, I'd aim for a conversion rate of 3 to 8%, meaning that 3 to 8% of the people who registered or attended would go on to take the next step. Now, as a pro tip, my favorite approach to webinar follow-up is labeling every webinar attendee as a sales qualified lead and then having the sales team follow up with each lead shortly after the webinar ends. But as you might know or might have experienced, it can be hard to convince some salespeople to want to do that. All right, as a quick recap, the goal of campaign number 1 is to get people to register for your webinar. The objective of campaign number 2 is to increase the percentage of registrants to attendees. And finally, the goal of campaign number 3 is to generate additional marketing or sales qualified leads. When we put together a webinar marketing funnel, we need to make sure that that funnel includes all 3 campaigns for maximum effectiveness. What would you like to know about webinar marketing funnels? Comment down below, and don't forget to check out my complete guide to building webinar marketing funnels. You can find more information in the description down below. That's it from your Fractional CMO. Thanks for watching, and good luck building your next webinar marketing funnel.